This is the INH Squawkbox Weekly Preview.
Hey, Alex, how about we hunt for a ring?
I'm down.
It's playoff time, guys. Your Iowa Nite Hawks are gearing up to take on the Wait a minute. Alex, am I seeing this right? The Raptors again?
The Raptors again.
It's confirmed. The Midwest Raptors are back in town to take on your Iowa Nite Hawks after a 2-week hiatus, where 2 weeks ago, the Iowa Nite Hawks took down the Raptors by a score of 34-24.
What's the big difference this time? Very simple. Winner gets to go on to the conference championship. Loser doesn't get to do nothing.
They get to pack their bags, close up for the season.
Yep.
And we're hoping we don't do that. Let's get into how both these teams got here. So let's go ahead and start with your Iowa Nite Hawks. They went up to Sioux Center, Iowa to open up their season, and they dominated the Northwest Iowa Lightning by a final score of 43-6. And the Nighthawks had their first home game of the 2025 SPFL season right here at H.A. Lynn Stadium. Unfortunately, it was a 31-24 loss to the only team that's beaten them all season, the Tri-State Tridents.
The next week, the Nighthawks soared to new heights, getting their first home win of the season and a shutout of the Midwest Rampage. Only one so far, but there's still more time to go. It was a 48-0 effort, and maybe in the playoffs we can repeat it.
And then the Nighthawks went up to Blairsburg, Iowa to start a long monthly stretch of road games and bye games where they got their third win of the season against Central Iowa Chiefs by a score of 20-6. Oh, and after a bye week that the Nighthawks took, they went over to Tiffin, Iowa to take on the Rampage again. This time they came up with a 39-6 victory over Midwest. And then the Nighthawks went out to Cornhusker country in Walt Hill, Nebraska, where unfortunately Tri-State got the better of the Nighthawks for the second game of the season. Final score of that game was 20-19. Sorry, Hawkeye fans. And then to close out the regular season for your Iowa Nighthawks, they had two back-to-back games, once against the Central Iowa Chiefs. That was a 14-12 victory. And then just before to close out the regular season, the Midwest Raptors came to town. 33-24 was the final score of that game in favor of your Nighthawks. And now on to the Midwest Raptors to see how they got here. They opened up their season against the Tri-State Tridents with a 14-8 victory down in Walt Hill. It was dominant performances from there on out, starting off with the Central Iowa Chiefs with a 36-0 victory over them. Northwest Iowa, a 43-20 win. And then the Midwest Rampage, a 60-0 win. And then the Raptors had their first speed bump of the season, going undefeated up until the second time around against the Tri-State Tridents. Final score hosting the Tridents was 24-12 in favor of the Tridents. But then after that Tri-State defeat, the Raptors got back into their groove with wins over Northwest Iowa by 46-22. And then the Rampage, they beat them 56-6. And then to close out the regular season for the Raptors, they hosted your Iowa Nite Hawks. We've already mentioned how that game ended up being. It was a 33-24 victory for the Nighthawks. Sorry, past me. I have to intervene here real quick. Yes, I am completely in a Masters polo. Don't judge. I had an issue with deciding this week's Call of the Week. So since the game that between the Raptors and the Nighthawks was so big, you get a double feature this week. It's time for this week's Jersey Freeze Calls of the Week. Frederick Griggs takes the snap. He's going to bounce to the outside. He's going to launch it downfield. Kevin Beckham! Touchdown! Kevin Beckham puts the Nighthawks back in front! Minute and 1 second to go after the incomplete pass. Clock will start on the snap. They now have to go 90 yards. Swenson. Out left. Intercepted! Frederick Griggs! Pick six! Frederick Griggs! Pick six, Iowa! It's playoff time. Winner goes to the Southern Conference Championship, while the loser packs everything up and closes shop for the season. Nighthawks, Raptors, Part 2, H. Lynn Stadium this Saturday, July 12th. 7 p.m. kick. Stream starts at 6:30. It is do or die for both of these teams. Winner to the Southern Conference Championship. This has been Trevor H., your voice of the Nighthawks, and this has been your Round 1 SPFL Playoffs INH Squawkbox Weekly Preview.
INH.